Welcome to Night Church, guys.
We are so happy that you are with us tonight. My name is Daniel.
I'm Ariana.
And we are married.
That's why we're not socially distancing.
Pastor Filip will be talking about relationships, and in Ephesians 5:25 we find this verse that says, "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." We hope that tonight's message may be a blessing to you, and thank you once again for being with us tonight.
Strong enough to calm the storms of fear and unbelief, fierce enough to break the cords of death that clung to me. 'Cause I have come to know a love whose power has overcome every insecurity, and heaven moves and demons flee now as I lift my voice to sing. Oh, your love is strong. Oh, your love is strong. Oh, your love is strong, yeah. Oh, your love is strong, yeah. Close enough to hold me near when fear is crippling, safe enough to be my home when my world is crumbling. 'Cause I have come to know love stronger than the grave, that in my darkest hours you raise me up from death to life now in resurrection power. Oh, your love is strong. Oh, your love is strong. Yes, it is. Oh, your love is strong. Oh, your love is strong. Yeah. Oh, your love is strong, 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 strong. Oh, your love is strong, mighty. Oh, your love is strong. Strong. Your love vanquished all my enemies. It broke the cage that silenced me and set this songbird free. And I sing because you've chosen me and called this orphan home. Oh, your love is strong. Oh, your love is strong. Yes, it is. Oh, your love is strong. Oh, your love is strong, yeah. Oh, your love is strong, 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 strong. Oh, your love is strong. You
Have you ever seen a couple that is seemingly perfect? I mean, they seem to have everything going for them. It seems as though they are picture perfect. And that's exactly what they are. Picture perfect. In that snapshot and moment in time, they've got their hair done right, they're smiling, they've got their hands in one another's, and everything seems perfect. So 2 things to get from that are, number 1, seemingly perfect doesn't mean really perfect. And secondly, when someone seems as though they're really great, that everything seems exactly right, and it's just like, wow, you get envious and jealous, don't be. Because you have no idea how much it's cost them to get to the place where they are in that moment in time. The sacrifice, the heartache, the struggle, because great things don't just happen, they take work, a lot of work. So I want to share with you 2 of my very favorite principles when it comes to relationships. Some of you are like, hey, Pastor, I don't even want to listen. I don't even have a relationship. I don't have a dating relationship. I don't have a marriage relationship. I want to encourage you then in this way. Listen to this. Paul says when you're single and not married, you have so much more that you can give to ministry, so much more that you can give the kingdom. I want to encourage you to channel your energy, your free time to things that will build you up and build up the kingdom in this season of singleness. Study, read, pray, seek the kingdom. Don't think it's a drudgery. Think of it as the building to the next chapter. So listen in now on these 2 principles. The first one is this. A spiritual relationship takes spiritual people. What do I mean by that? Well, listen to what Ron Ronikar says in his book, Choosing God's Best. Don Ronikar says this: godly marriages are made by first living godly lives. It takes 2 people separate from the relationship, living lives that are honorable before God. You know, couples come to me for counseling regularly and they say, you know, he's not that spiritual, doesn't really have devotional life, and then I kind of think to myself, what were you doing when you were dating before you got married? Did you not see any of this? Yikes. I don't ask that question. But what I do say is this: before you get married, it's really a good time to not see what people say, but see what they actually do. Don't listen to what they say, see what they actually do. If someone says, hey, yep, I'm definitely Seventh-day Adventist, I'm definitely Christian, I love the Lord, and then I look at them and I say, what are you doing? Are you actually going to church? Do you pay your tithe? Are you part of a small group? Do you really would have a devotional life that's meaningful, life-sustaining? Are you pursuing serving in a community? Do you push the kingdom forward in your career? Do you visually portray all that? Or is it all just fluff and word? That's a big one. A spiritual relationship starts with a spiritual person coming together with another spiritual person. Think of it in this way. Back 100 years ago, which was used for almost thousands of years, they would have oxen connected to this big wooden yoke. 2 oxen connected together, pushing a mission forward, accomplishing a task, tilling the ground. But now imagine when you get 2 oxen that are not equally yoked. One wants to go this way, the other wants to do this, and they fight the farmer who's trying to accomplish a mission. Paul says this really clearly in 2 Corinthians chapter 6. I want you to just see this with me for a moment. 6:14, it says this: do not unequally be yoked with unbelievers, for what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness, and what fellowship has light with darkness? I know that's a tough one. People come to me sometimes and say, I found this great person, kind, loving, super nice, and then they use the but. They're not my same faith. And that's where I just tell you, don't compromise. It's not worth it. Marriage is hard enough already, and especially if you want to have a spiritual life, you're a believer, you're a Christian, you're pursuing the kingdom, and then you say, let me attach to someone who isn't those. characteristics, you're gonna have a hard time. So please, first thing, remember, if you wanna have a spiritual life, a spiritual relationship, you gotta bring two spiritual people together. Second thing is this, you gotta understand the deeper meaning of marriage through the eyes of covenant. What do I mean by that? A book we read for our pre-marriage counseling almost 12 years ago now was a book by Gary Thomas, and he wrote this book called Sacred Marriage. And the subtitle of his book is this, get this, what if marriage was for your holiness, not for your happiness? When I heard that, I was just like, whoa, man, bursting my idealistic bubble here, buddy. But yeah, that's the truth. The reality is, marriage's deeper meaning, purpose is to bring about your holiness. Jump back to Genesis chapter 1, and there you see God in that triune voice speaks out and he says, we have created humankind in our image, in our likeness. But when Adam and Eve fell, that image-bearing vision started to deteriorate. And now humans started to look more like someone else than God. And marriage is all about, relationships is all about rebuilding the image of God in a human being. How does that happen? Through pain, through struggle, through affliction. Catch what Isaiah says in Isaiah chapter 48, verse 10. It says, behold, I have refined you, but not as silver, but I have refined you in the furnace of affliction. Hardship. God's greatest refining tool in your life are relationships with coworkers, with friends, and especially in romantic relationships. Some people run from those moments of affliction though. It's their fault. They're the ones who need to apologize. They're the issue. They've got the problem, not me. You're blind in that moment because you don't want to see that there's a lot going on in this space. God uses hardship, struggle to refine us. And are you going to fight against that, or are you going to let it build you up to the next level? See, the thing is this, the more we view the deeper meaning of marriage, the more we begin to see this image of God, but then we also see the image of God through covenant eyes. Covenant is this notion that God chose us when we were imperfect, badly wounded, broken, and He built us up to something significant, but then we didn't fulfill our part of the kind of agreement there. But God says, you know what? Even though you didn't do that, I'm still gonna love you. Even when you go off and cheat on me, I'm gonna still love you. And I'm gonna win you over by this idea of a persistent love in the same direction over a long period of time. Wow, that's a hard thing. It was a tough thing in my life. I remember one time early on in marriage, crying, complaining, God, why did you give me this woman? My goodness, this is rough. And then God slapped me over the face with Ephesians 5. And there it says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, sacrificing Himself for her. Whoa, those words cut deep, and I realized marriage is about patience and sacrifice in hard seasons. It means I gotta lay my pride down. It means I need to learn how to forgive. It means I gotta be persistent, even when the other person is struggling in life, even when they're not portraying the best image of Christ. It's tough, but it's the way to go. I know some of you maybe have walked down a tough road. You've ended a relationship, you've ended a marriage, and I don't want you to feel guilty in what I'm saying here, but what I am trying to say though, to those of you who are not yet married and those of you in seasons of struggle, I pray you don't have to walk down those roads. If you choose to really build up this spiritual foundation underneath you, and if you choose to walk in that relationship through this covenant mentality, that means in those tough seasons, you stick to it. You stay faithful, because you're cutting the beauty of what is to come before it ever even gets there. You don't even have the opportunity to be that perfect couple. Why? Because you never took the time to build up to that. I know there's so many nuances to all these things, These are two things that have been really important and foundational in my life. I want to share with you this last thing, and that's this. Seek first the kingdom of God. Now, how does that look like? It looks like you and me just being humble before Jesus and saying, God, I'm an imperfect person. I know I don't have everything right. I know this person doesn't either. But God, build us, mold us, make us into something that can be useful for the kingdom. And then that's when the promise of the Old Testament emerges. From beauty, from ashes comes beauty. Ashes are literally something that means something's burned, completely destroyed, and yet beauty can emerge from those spaces. I believe it can for you. Blessings to you. 2 questions to leave you with. Number 1, are you running from struggle in your life, in relationships, in hard things? And number 2, have you taken a hard look at yourself to ask yourself, God, where do you need me to grow? Blessings to you. We'll see you here next week.
We'd like to thank you all again for joining us this evening, and a special thank you for that wonderful message from Pastor Filip. A couple quick announcements before we wrap things up here. First, we would love to have you join us for every program that we've got live streamed. We've got this every Friday night. We've got church service on Saturday mornings that's live streamed on YouTube. We also have some other things going on, a Q&A session that's always on 2 p.m. on Saturdays, and then a Friday night prayer connection at 7:30. All of those are live streamed on Facebook or on YouTube. We'd love to have you all there. Speaking of social media, we would love to have you join us on Instagram. You can follow us at Praxis Ministry. There you can DM us if you have any questions, comments, or if you'd just like to connect. It's a world these days where it's difficult to connect, so we would love to have you connect with us. Finally, if you are interested in prayer, we would like to have you get on the LLUC website, and there you can find the link for the prayer team or the young adult page, and you can send us your prayer requests. We would love to continue praying for you. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.